Hi guys, it's Sherry. So today we are going to be making a pendant similar to this, and then we are going to be making some pieces that I will be doing in another video for a bracelet, so they're gonna be something similar to this as well. So the first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna cut our cane. And I had these canes just laying around and I needed something to do with them, so I figured I would make a pendant. But first, before we do anything, I have this slab of Primo black clay, and it is rolled out on my second thickest setting on my roller. So the first thing I'm going to do is actually just take a piece out of it, and we're going to save this for later. So this piece we're going to put off to the side. So let's take this and just set it off to the side. All right, then I'm going to actually pause the video and we're going to slice these. So to slice these, let me just move this out of the way. We're not going to make them too thick. We're actually going to make them about that thickness. So I'm going to pause this, and then I'm going to cut all these canes. I have multiple different kinds. I'll show you quickly. These are all the different ones that I'm going to do. So if you have a bunch of them just laying around, pull them out and then start slicing them up. We're going to fill this entire slab of clay up, okay? So let me pause this and then I will be right back. Okay guys, so I re-rolled out my slab of clay. I sliced up all my cane. So now I'm just going to edge it off. Get it clean. Okay. Now I'm going to take, this is a aquarium sponge. I'm just going to take that and I'm going to pat this until I get the texture that I want. Let's try to get these bubbles out of here. Okay, so now I have a bunch of canes sliced up, and I did probably anywhere between 5 to 9 slices each because I wasn't sure how many I was going to need exactly. So I'm just going to lay these out. I'm going to do different colors and different sizes all next to each other. Let's take this bracelet off. And we're going to fill up this whole slab with the cane. Just have fun with this. Mix it up. Do the canes any way that you like. Okay, so now I have all my slices on. And the next thing that I'm going to do is just get a plain piece of paper and going to rub it a little bit just to get the canes on nice and strong. You don't want to make them too flat. Okay. You could also take this and texture the top if you want. You don't have to. I actually like the look. So I'm not going to do it as much as I did the bottom, but just to give it a little texture. Our next step is going to get our cutters. And I actually used this cutter for these. Okay, so I actually ran out of saran wrap, so I just cut a sandwich bag, and I'm going to set this on top. Okay, and the first thing that you're going to do is get your round cutter and find a spot that you like for your pendant. I actually like this spot best. Okay. And then we're just going to cut out our pieces for our bracelet. And then I'm actually going to cut a few other ones out with this one. Okay, so as you can see, I used as much of my clay up as possible. I'm just going to peel this all off. Okay. Just going to smooth out my sides a little bit. Okay, so we're just going to clean up the sides a little bit, rub them down, make sure they're smooth. We will be sanding these down so they don't have to be perfect, but it makes it a little bit easier when you are sanding if you already smooth them out. So after you're done doing all of them, we are going to take this and we're going to lay this guy on here. I actually want to, hold on one second. Figure out where I want the top. I like this one. Okay. So I'm just going to push this in just a tiny bit. And take my little ball tool and push that down just a bit. Now, I'm going to lay this on here. Press it down lightly. Okay, put that off to the side. I'm going to finish cleaning all of these up, smoothing the sides out, and then I'm going to put them in the toaster oven for a half hour at 275 degrees. So whatever clay that you're using, go with the recommended temperature on your clay. This is Primo, so my recommended temperature is 275, so that's what I'm going to go with. So half hour toaster oven, and then we will be back. Alrighty, so while all my stuff is in the oven, I have my back piece here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to press down on this as well, because I want it to match somewhat. Just give it some texture. Okay. And since I have all those colorful canes, I wanted to do something a little different on the back, because I thought having a double-sided pendant would be really neat. So I bought these little glass stones, and they're all different colors. So I'm going to use some of these, and we're going to do almost like a little wave style. And I'm going to make them all little rainbow colors. So you want to match up, you don't have to, but if you want to match up your canes, you can just see what colors you used and kind of guide yourself off of those. So with mine, I actually have a lot of different colors. So I have my main colors, I would say, are the pinks and the purple bluish color. So maybe I will go after that. Let's do some pinks. Let me I'm just going to kind of go down. Okay. So now make sure your placement is exactly how you want it before you push anything down. Oops. Now I'm just going to do this again. That'll help secure the pieces as well. Okay, so once our piece is out of the oven and cooled off, we will be able to stick this piece on, and then we'll stick that back in the oven and everything will be ready to go. Okay guys, so now my pieces are out of the oven. We're not going to do anything with these during this video, so we're going to set those all off to the side. In our next video I will show you how to make a bracelet. But with these ones, I decided I was going to make earrings out of these. So what I did was I actually put these little pieces inside the clay. But if you already baked your pieces by the time you're seeing this part of the video and you want to make these into earrings, you could just take a very thin layer of your black Primo, roll it out, and then recut, and then put some Scolby liquid clay on the back and just put the thin layer on the back with this little, I think they're called eyelets, I'm not sure, but with this little piece here. So you can just put the black thin Primo clay right there, and that will hold your piece, and then you would rebake it. So now for this piece, so here I have a little crack. So after I put the back on, I'm going to sand that down a little bit and try to get that crack out of there. If not, then I'm going to just take a little bit of white clay and I'm going to fill that little crack in. But first, let's put our piece on. So we want to make sure that it looks like that's what it will look like. The first thing we're going to do is get our Sculpey oven baked clay adhesive. This is our liquid Sculpey. And then we're just going to put it on. Rub it on. I'm going to also get a little bit of the sides here. Make sure you line it up where you want it. And I want the pink right in the middle. Press down. And then very carefully just work your piece in, because we don't want no air bubbles. And don't worry about if you get fingerprints, because we are going to use our little filter again. Okay, now we're going to slowly move our clay up over the edge. Take your time doing this. Now I know I have a lot of clay here, so I'm going to actually trim some of it up. Now it actually looks like, hold on, I'm going to lift this up for a second, because it actually looks like this piece is coming loose. So I'm going to take this out for a minute, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to take one of these, and I am actually going to bend it over. I'm going to connect it into here. So this way my clay has something more to grab onto. So put it back into that little area. Okay, we're actually going to put it right into this area where it was. This clay is soft, at least. Okay. This just shows you that we all make mistakes. Okay, so now redo that. Press down. And I want to make sure that's straight. Slowly bring your edging up again. Pull it out a little bit. Oh, this is going to not work. This thing is giving me a hard time. Why? Okay, so I'm actually just going to twist this so everything is laying the same direction. There we go. let's see if we can save this. I don't know if we can. We're actually going to take just a little bit of clay here. Push that into place. Okay. Let's see if this is even fixable. I'll take this one off for now. Let's see if we can even fix these. Push up. Clean it up. I'm just going to rub this down. Get your piece nice and smooth. Let's get this down. Okay. Get my pink gem. Put that back in place. And now I'm actually going to mush it in place here. And this will help hide all the imperfections from my mistake. Make sure we get our edge in very well. So this is a good way to show you guys that you can make multiple mistakes and still fix them if you just keep at it. Do not give up, because trust me, while you are doing different projects, you are bound to mess up at one point or another. And truthfully, that's all a learning curve. So I think for as much as I mess this piece up, that will be more secure once it's baked. It looks pretty darn good there. So before I go messing with it anymore to fix the front piece right there, I am actually going to put this in the toaster oven again to make sure that that piece is nice and secure, because I do not want it to fall off and have to refix it again. But I think all my gems look like they're nice and secure in there. My sides look pretty good. We'll clean up the rest with the sander. So let me throw this in the oven and then we will be back. Okay, so our next step to finish the earrings is we're going to pull these out. And we're just going to put a little bit of super glue on them. When you're doing this, make sure that you're, okay, I want to clean that up a little bit. Okay, so make sure that that piece is facing the proper way. So when you connect them, everything connects the right direction. Because once you super glue these in, it's going to be really hard to take them back out without breaking it. Okay, a little bit more. There we go. And just clean that up again. Okay. So what I do is I will make sure that my holes line up properly. And then you just open up your hoop. Make sure it's closed, and then there's your earring. Oops. All right. And then our final step to completing the earrings is going to be putting this gloss glaze on. Make sure you get your edges. If your edges seem rough, make sure you sand everything down ahead of time. And then what I do is I do the back right away because I will hang these up to dry. Okay. Once you have all your edges completely done, let it completely dry, and then your earrings are done. Okay, so now my pendant is out of the oven and it's completely cooled off, but I sanded it down. So I sanded all my sides down, and I sanded the front of these to make sure everything was nice. And I still have this little crack, so I'm going to take my liquid Scolby. I'm just going to put a little tiny thing over it, a little tiny amount. And then I'm going to just take white clay and mush it over it. And hopefully that will help hide the crack. So we just got to keep mushing it. And if this doesn't work, then we could just paint over it with some paint. Okay, so now I'm going to stick this in the oven for 5 minutes. Just let that get a little bit hard, maybe 10 minutes. And then we'll sand that down and see how that comes out. All right, so I took it out of the oven, and unfortunately after sanding it down, you can still see the crack because obviously I sanded it down a little too much. So I'm going to attempt to cover up that crack with a little bit of paint. So hopefully that will work. And I'm going to get a very small brush and just a tiny bit of white. And I'm going to just go over it just a little bit. We're going to just blend. Let's keep blending. I think this is going to work better. And then I got a little bit of purple. It's not going to match up perfect, but it will be better than seeing a crack. So I'm going to just go over it very lightly. Dry brush this just to kind of blend it a little bit better. Okay. And I like this paint because it dries super fast. It's already dry. All right, so our next step is to make sure that everything is to our liking. Brush off all the dust. Check out the back. Even with that mistake, you would never know. It looks really good to me. And my piece is solid in there. So my next step is to put the gloss glaze on. Okay, let that completely dry. Should only take a few minutes. I'm going to show you how nice the earrings came out. So they're nice and shiny on both sides. I also chose just a plain leather cord for this necklace. You can start on the back, and this we're going to be very careful because we want to kind of avoid the stones. So we're going to get a smaller brush and we're just going to lightly, I mean, you could go over the stones, but I try to avoid them just so it's less cleanup. This one I take a little bit more time on. All right, so here is our pendant. Has a little bit of white still on it, but once it's fully 100% dry, that'll go away. But you see how shiny and beautiful that looks. Our bail is secure. And then look at that shine. Absolutely gorgeous. Just beautiful. And I love that we can do either side. And the bail works perfect for that. Let's see if this will fit through here. Or if I'll have to take that off. I'll have to actually take that one off. Okay, hold on. Let's see if this will work now. I'm going to squeeze it a little bit tighter. Sometimes, if we just make it a little smaller, it'll fit right through and we don't have to take anything off. There we go. Perfect. Okay. So here we can see how gorgeous this pendant is. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and please remember that even though we make mistakes, most of the time if we are just patient with it, we can fix them. As you saw, I made a mistake with this bail. Now I know the next time I do it to make sure that I have a longer piece on to connect it properly so it won't pop out. And I also know that if I have a crack and if my clay will not cover it up, most of the time paint will do it. As we can see, 95% of that little tiny crack is fixed. Now this pendant will be Mayan, so I don't mind, but if I was going to sell this, I would make sure that that crack is 100% fixed, or I would not sell it. That's just my personal preference. But you can see how fun these are. I am just loving these. They're just adorable, and I love that I could change these. Now what I might do after this video is over is use the same cutter for this and add some gems on another one. So I would basically take my black clay, do the same exact thing, and add some gems on, just so I have two pairs of earrings that if I chose to wear this one or this side, I have a matching pair of earrings. And then if I wear it this way, I have these earrings to go along. So keep in mind, I will be making a video showing you how to complete these pieces to make a neck, or not a necklace, I'm sorry, to make a bracelet. So keep an eye out for that video, and I may make a bracelet with these as well. So I think I have enough of both. So enjoy creating, and I hope you guys enjoy this video, and please like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.